All right, so another thing I'm working on with this boy is potty training. And there's something I'd like to say about that if you do ever hire someone to help you with potty training. And that is that potty training is, it always is with everything when it comes to training a dog. But with potty training, it's very crucial to understand this, that it's a situational thing. And by that I mean, when someone works with a dog and teaches the dog not to go potty in the house, right? But your dog has been going potty in your house already, that means the dog has learned that in your situation, at your house, that it can pee in the house, especially if you still have pee or poop smells in the house. In my house, if any kind of accident happens, I clean it up right away. I've got stuff to spray it down, and I make sure that my house does not smell like pee or poop, because I don't want the dogs to ever smell it and think, oh, we can poo or pee in here. So if you have a trainer work with your dog, they could have the dog for a really long time, get the dog to where it's learned even to use a bell or something to go outside. But you take the dog to your house, a place that it already knows it can go potty in, and you don't do any of the things that the trainer did at home, well, guess what? It's going to pee and poop in your house. So you have to do the same things that trainer did. And you've got to watch the dog. And if the dog does go to the bathroom, you got to mark it and let the dog know that's not a behavior we want. You got to bring the dog outside. And you got to basically do the exact same things the trainer did. It's going to be a lot easier for you because the dog is going to have a general understanding of what you're asking. So the minute you start doing it, the dog's going to go, oh, that's right. That dude that had me just a month ago or whatever told me I couldn't do this either. So it is a lot easier, but it's not going to just fix things. And I've had, clients in the past where they asked me to do potty training, and I worked on it, and I got to the dog where the dog wasn't pottying in the house, and I brought them back, and we went over what they had to do. I gave them a little schedule for their dog. It was a puppy, of course, letting them know, you've got to do A, B, and C if you're going to want the same results. And of course they didn't. I don't blame her completely. She was a little older. It was one of those things where I tried to stress it in the beginning, and I made sure that she understood, and she said she understood. And she's never complained to me. She did understand even afterwards that it's a situational thing, and she just said, I'm having trouble doing, B and C of the steps because of, her age and some health issues that she started to go through. So, it wasn't 100% her fault, and she did understand that it was still her responsibility when the dog came home. But some people, they don't understand that, and they expect the trainer to do everything. I've even had people ask me if, I can give you the dog and you do everything, and when I get the dog home, I don't have to do anything. And I tell them straight up, no, that's not how it works. Sorry, bud. You're going to have to do the same things I do to get the same results. And one person in particular said, oh, never mind. And I'm like, that's fine. Never mind is right. I don't want to work with you. So you got to understand that. You've got to put in some work too when your dog comes home. When the dog goes to a board and train, it just makes it a lot easier. Good boy. Every time this guy gets up after he eats, I just expect him to be going poop because he does it almost right away. I think it's been 11 years he's probably pooped and peed inside a house the whole time. So he truly believes he's supposed to go inside the house. So this is going to be a very hard thing for his next home to really conquer, in a sense, because he truly believes he's supposed to go to the bathroom in the house. He thinks that these are where you're supposed to go, not just the pads, pillows in general. And I can say for certain, like 100%, that's what he thinks. And the reason I can say that is, well, not for one, just because I've seen it before, but with this guy's specifically, I'll have him outside, and I could have him outside for, several hours while we do stuff, and he goes to the bathroom, I'm hoping, and he doesn't. And so then I'll do exercises with him. I'll take him on walks, and he still doesn't go to the bathroom. And so I'm like, okay, well, it's time to go inside for a little bit. And he'll literally go straight to the bed and try to go to the bathroom. Another incident, I actually took a bed outside. It was a fresh bed, or a freshly cleaned bed. I just cleaned it. He actually had never seen the bed before. It was one of my beds, and I brought it out to let him lay on it if he wanted to lay on it, and kind of to test him as well. And sure enough, right away, he goes over to it to poop on it. And it's just like, nah, dude, you don't poop on these. But that tells me that he believes he's supposed to poop on these things. Even though he's outside, he's got dirt, he's got turf, he's got all these areas to go to the bathroom. He goes, oh, hey, there's the pillow. I'm supposed to poop on those. And he goes straight to the pillow to poop on it. So that tells me it's going to be really hard for his next home to conquer that challenge, because he truly believes he's supposed to go to the bathroom either in the house or on these pillows. I think it's more the pillows than anything, not just the pads. The pads, I think, are newer because he had a bladder issue, so he started dripping a lot, and so his first foster had gotten these pads. So I believe he thinks he's supposed to poop on these things, the pillows itself. And I know she left him inside a lot, and I don't know what the first home was about, but they clearly weren't doing what they were supposed to do. That's why he had this huge kidney stone in his bladder, and he had all these other issues. His back had issues. So, the first home clearly wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. So I seriously doubt they even tried to potty train him. I'm sure that's why he became aggressive as well. I'm sure it was the first home. They did something to him. So it's just one of those things that, you have to understand. If you're going to have someone teach your dog potty training, that you're going to have to follow through when that dog comes home. I always suggest to people to hire a carpet cleaner, clean your carpets very thoroughly if you have carpets, and make sure to go through your whole house. That way it doesn't smell like pee or poo. Because if it smells like it, your dog is going to think it's okay to go to the bathroom in the house, right? And so you don't want to take your dog, have someone train your dog, and then the dog come home and it don't work or didn't help at all. I've even had some people hit me up because they boarded their dog at some dog hotel, and the dog hotel, they, probably left the dog inside 24/7. That would be my guess. And they messaged me online asking me for potty training and told me the situation, that the dog had been left at a potty hotel. Good boy. And he came back, and they said beforehand that, I think it was 2 dogs actually, beforehand they had no issues. They had potty trained their dogs, and then once the dog came back, it was like all over again. The dogs are going in the house. And I said, you don't even have to hire me. If you already know how to potty train your dog, just go back to the basics. I told him straight up, don't hire me, just train the dog. I told him, treat him like it was when you were a puppy, and you'll be able to kick him from that habit. And I apologized for the previous boarders' lack of attention. Some places are like that, Doggy Hotel in this situation. They just charged them good money and then cleaned up after the dog. But personally, I would rather have my dog go somewhere where they didn't allow them to do, behaviors like that. And that's one of the places I am. I don't let dogs come here and just do potty in the house and stuff like that. Even the dog's not here for training. If they're here's just boarding, I'm still not going to allow it, or, set the dog up for failure in the sense where I just leave the dog inside all day, which is what they did. So if you have an issue with potty training, just know that a trainer's not going to be able to just fix it. And even if they get the dog to, 100% at their house, you're going to have to follow through. So you might as well just do it on your own, at least in my opinion. It's one of those things that is a lot harder, or a lot more work. I wouldn't say it's harder, but it is a lot more work. You have to do a lot more work still compared to, when you take a dog to a trainer, at least if it's a good trainer, and they're kicking them on aggression, or they're teaching them commands. Typically, when you get the dog back, it's a lot easier to reinforce the commands, or reinforce that your dog can't be aggressive, compared to potty training. Potty training is definitely one of the ones where you have to do a lot more extra work. And so it's one of the ones where I try to get people just to do it themselves, but if they really need me to do it, I'm definitely willing to. This dog is a rescued dog, and so he's looking for another home, and I want it to be easier for him to find another home. And it's really hard for a dog to find a home if he's peeing and shitting in the house all day, and that's definitely him. So I'm trying to make it easier for his next adopter. So of course I'm going to work on it. It's not going to fix it 100%, but it'll make it a lot better. I mean, at least now when I take him out, he'll go potty after, usually an hour or so he goes potty. Or if I take him on a walk, sometimes I'll get him to go potty on the first walk. Sometimes it's the second walk. That's okay. But he's at least going to the bathroom outside more now, and he's not holding it in for 5+ hours outside. He's like, okay, I gotta go potty outside. And if I catch him going potty inside, I use my marker that lets him know that's a wrong behavior, and I grab him as quick as I can. I try to get him before he poops, of course. So if I catch him hunching over to do the poop, then I'm correcting him. Nope, don't do that, and I'm taking him outside. So just be aware of that if you're looking for a trainer to work on potty training, all right? Some won't explain this stuff to you. They'll just take your money. I'm not one of those people. I want you to understand, you have to do some work. I like to educate people in that sense, and it's not all about money for me. It's about helping dogs and helping people better communicate with the dogs. And that's why I'm working on making even more content about how I do it and the ways that I've been using to achieve such success with working with aggressive and hard to handle cases. So I hope this information has helped you. And if it has, feel free to leave a comment below. And, if you've had a bad experience about it, or experience like that with a trainer where they didn't educate you and they just took your money, let me know what happened and how it made you feel, because I'm sure it didn't feel good. It wouldn't make me feel good. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys then.